Hold on. There we go. There we go. There was
At some point.
okay. Now they can hear us.
Yep.
All right.
That was
Yeah.
I don't know why that did that. I really don't know. But like I said, welcome ladies and gentlemen to PCT podcast number 26. We have a pretty stacked lineup and a new face. So right before we get into everything, welcome guys. Trey. I'm joined by Trey.
Yeah, hi.
I messed up. I'm sorry. I failed you. Okay.
You did not fail me.
I'm
You failed the podcast.
I failed the podcast.
It's not just me.
I'm also joined by Miguel here. Miguel?
Yeah.
There he is. There he is. I'm also joined by Mad Matt. Where's Matt?
He's gone.
Well, we're going to skip him. I'm joined by Max and Miles.
Hello.
What's up?
Man,
Okay.
this is the second time you skipped him even on purpose.
Listen, okay, that wasn't my fault. He's not here.
Oh yeah, the last one wasn't either.
No, the last one was. I did that intentionally. He's not here. I'm not taking the blame for this one.
Hey man, the background noise was his hello.
I'm taking the blame for enough stuff so far. So, real quick, right before we get started, how are you guys doing? What have you guys been up to this week?
Nothing much. Looking forward to my birthday in about 2 weeks.
Happy
Wait,
early
no, that's
birthday.
something.
Oh, happy early.
Wait, did you announce everyone already? Or
I announced everyone, man.
you sure?
Yeah. Yes. Who
Yeah,
else?
you got this.
Who else? Is Casper in here? Because I don't see him. Where is he?
Okay, I'm wrong. Okay.
Trey's delusional. So, dang it, Trey.
See how you both failed each other.
We're just gonna get
There we
into.
go.
We're just gonna get into the topics, man. We're just gonna get into topics. Jake's on the chat. Good job, Trey. Real quick. You know, this week was a pretty eventful week, especially for myself and Miles here. Disney blessed us this week with amazing and beautiful news. That is the confirmation that Tron 3 is happening.
Yep.
Oh man, I am gonna pop off about this.
And you know, this is a movie, right? I'm a huge lover of Tron Legacy. I love the first one. I love Legacy. I think they're both amazing movies in their own right.
You like Evolution?
It's time for Jalen to pull out his 5-page essay of why it's so good.
Listen, man, it's also an MLA format. Hear me out.
Hey, no, look, the video will be coming up soon. Don't worry.
It will be. Why Tron Legacy is amazing. So I'm telling you, I've been wanting this movie for years, and there's a lot I want to say about this movie. But real quick, what do you guys think about Tron Legacy? Or Tron 3, I should say. Tron 3.
I'm absolutely psyched that this is finally happening.
Yes.
I was a little kid when I saw the first one. I was amazed by it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually a movie that got me to fall in love with Daft Punk.
100%.
Absolutely love their music.
So, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Personally, I'm kind of ashamed to admit that I've never watched Tron.
It's okay. It's okay. We all have that one, you know, lesser person in the group. It's okay, man. It's okay.
Well, I was just gonna say it's an acquired taste. You just went full on.
We'll watch Tron Legacy, Max. But dude, let me tell you, it's visually amazing. Story-wise, you know, it does have its issues, but I mean, for what it is, I enjoyed it a lot. I also feel as if Tron is a franchise that is there's a lot to be done with it, and I think that's why I want Tron 3 for the longest time. As we saw in Legacy, Max, you're not going to get any of this, but you know, we saw the fall of the ISOs and stuff like that, and it was a real, if we're going to compare this to anything in real life, it's kind of like World War II and the Nazis and stuff like that, and Clue was honestly a lot like Hitler. And I would love, no, none of this is confirmed, we don't even know who's directing this movie yet. They're trying to get Joseph Kosinski to direct it again like he did Legacy, but I will love it instead of this movie taking place after Legacy, if it took place between 1 and 2 and it was all about, you know, building up the ISOs just to watch them fall. I would think that would be perfect. I think that's the best time for just set a Tron 3.
Absolutely, that's gonna fill in a ton of blanks if they do it too.
I think that's a perfect time to set a Tron 3.
And as for why I'm excited, you're probably going to cut me off. Let's talk about the soundtrack.
Amazing.
When I tell you I fell in love with Daft Punk when they did the first Tron, it was incredible. And they haven't been around for the longest time now. So to have them come back and a confirmed movie, and we're getting whole new tracks from them, I could not be more excited.
100%. I feel like that's, you know, one of the most standout parts about Tron Legacy was the soundtrack. You know, I remember listening to that music, and that was really, I want to say that was the first time I really listened to, you know, electronic music was Tron Legacy. And that's one thing I come to realize with the director Joseph Kosinski is in a lot of his movies he doesn't like having traditional, like, you know, people do original soundtracks. You know, in Tron Legacy he had Daft Punk, they've never done a soundtrack. In Oblivion he had M83, they've never done a soundtrack. And I feel like, you know, these people who, you know, their job isn't about soundtracks and they genuinely make music, just make music, I feel like the music stands out a lot more in these type of movies because it feels more genuine and passionate. So if Daft Punk returns for Tron 3, man, I will be very pleased.
It can't fail if it does.
They can't. And then a lot of people are very surprised about this news, which has been news for like the past 5 years. A lot of people are upset that Jared Leto, or Leto, however you like to say his name, is the star of the movie, which this has been confirmed for the longest time now. What are your guys' thoughts on Jared Leto being the lead in Tron 3?
I think he's been incredibly squandered ever since Suicide Squad. Everybody just associates him with Joker, man. It's kind of a shame because, you know, you can see what you want about the Joker. He wasn't, in my opinion, good by any means, but, like, you can tell he tried his best. You want to do a really good portrayal of the Clown Prince of Crime. You know, whether that be, in your opinion, if you like him, that's good or not. But I feel like the movie really didn't do much for him. I feel like his like kind of career since then has kind of taken a little bit of a tailspin. But I think this could, if he's still connected to it and he does a good job, I think it could turn his career back around. It's not over by any means. He's in Morbius coming up and stuff.
Yeah.
But I wanted like, I think he's a very underrated actor. I think he's criminal. I think he's does everything I've seen him in before. Personally, he's done a good job.
Yeah.
I never have seen a movie where he sucked in it. So, you know, Joker, he even sucked. I think it's just a presentation of the character that sucked. It wasn't him personally. It came to the acting. No, I'm down with him being the main character. That's fine. I mean, honestly, I'd rather have him be the main character than the guy that played Sam. Like, no offense,
Yeah.
he was the
Yeah. Yeah.
I get it.
down to stuff.
Yeah, I agree with
so,
you.
I mean, I'm down. I'm down with it. I mean, that sounds great to me.
Yeah.
As I would say that as far as the role of the Joker goes, I would say that it's a very hard position to fill.
Oh, absolutely.
I would say yes, Jared Leto wasn't the best Joker, but like you said, he did try very hard to inhabit.
I blame a lot of
as
that on
much as
Warner
he
Brothers,
could.
dude. With the direction they took the Joker in, with the whole gangster thing and the tats. Like,
Yeah,
I think that was
like
more
yeah.
on the,
And
that
you
was
can't
way more I think
follow
the
up.
studio's fault than anything else than Jared Leto's.
That, and you also have to think this is not people all like whenever an actor does an amazing job with a certain role that has to be followed up depending on like a continuation or a sequel, and that actor isn't available, people always get that image of this is who portrayed them, and if they did it well, that's who you're going to come into the movie thinking it's going to be.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think they were just trying to make a quick, like, I don't want to say they try making a cash grab, but I really think they try to, like, appeasing to, like, the newer audience, being like, hey, kids, look at this new revamped Joker. He's great. Look at that. He's a gangster, you know? You guys love those, right? So, I mean, in the end, I mean, I think he's criminally underrated. I don't think he's bad at all. I mean, people have an issue with him in this movie. I mean, I say go look at Dallas Buyers Club. You know, go look at Blade Runner. Jeez, Blade Runner 2049. I mean, just go look at some of his other work.
And even then, I'm glad you point out, you know, especially those two movies, because those two movies, he's not starred by any means. He barely has a role in Blade Runner 2049. But even in the roles that, you know, you barely see him in, he is an actor where he is. And this is why I can't wait to see him in Morbius. I think Morbius looks really not like. I don't think it looks like an amazing movie.
It looks campy, but in a good way.
Yeah, it does, exactly. And
it looks cool.
Like the thing with Jared Leto is, you know, he's playing a character that he wants to play by the way the character is presented. You know, I highly doubt he wanted to play Joker. You know, especially with the script. I think the script had a lot to do with Suicide Squad, and that why Jared Leto is, you know, looked upon as one of the worst Jokers ever, if not the worst. But I
also think, dude, like, it must be scary because I mean, the last big Joker before that was Heath Ledger. I mean, you can say you want about Gotham.
It was
like, you know, Cameron Monaghan portrayed the Joker in Gotham, and then you had Mark Hamill return as him in the Arkham games. But like, those aren't like, massive, like, I mean, Mark Hamill's, he's a voice actor, he's not the actual, it's like an actual live action big screen adaptation to have it be the way it was. I'm sure he was also really nervous about his role, and he also made tons of comments, remember, about how he had a ton of scenes cut from the movie apparently that he liked, and they cut like a ton of his. He was pissed, like he was like, that's why he ditched DC. He had it, he came to Marvel because he said it was awful.
And that is always the problem with anyone trying to take up a mantle of a role you already know well, which is what a lot of people had with, I know people are going to hate me for this, with Batfleck.
Mm-hmm.
Think of who he had to follow up and how he had to separate the portrayal that was already established.
Mm-hmm.
You had Christian Bale's Batman, and it was flawless. Well, yeah, flawless, but it was...
I think it also comes down to especially for the way that they portrayed the Joker. I feel like what it had been in the past with say Heath Ledger, everybody knows Heath Ledger.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Joker in Suicide Squad was very watered down when it came to the dark humor that was originally portrayed in the Joker.
Well, we didn't see a ton of them. We saw a couple flashbacks. Like, that's why I also feel bad. I feel like he didn't get his chance to shine. I really felt like he got cut really even if his approach wasn't that great, but at the very end of the movie, spoiler alert for me, you guys haven't seen it, which I don't know why you haven't. It's been 4 years at this point. If you watch the end credit scene, he breaks into the place and gets Harley out. That was the one moment he actually was the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
He put on the whole Joker persona. He ripped off the SWAT. He's like, "Come on, baby, let's go back to Gotham." That was the whole Joker thing. I really feel bad. I wouldn't mind seeing him portray it somewhere else. I mean, we're getting kind of off topic with the whole Joker thing, but I really do think that he gave it his all. I mean, obviously he didn't have that great of a job handed to him with it, but I think people who hate him for that role is ridiculous.
No, I don't think we're getting off topic at all, because I really do feel like having this conversation further begs the question, is Jared Leto as bad as people make him out to be? And I've seen all the hate he was receiving for being confirmed to be in Tron 3, which has been a thing for years now. I genuinely felt bad. I was like, dang, man, no one's giving him a chance.
He won an Oscar.
No one's giving him a chance.
For Dallas Buyers Club?
Yes.
He won an Oscar, didn't he?
He's
a supporting actor?
He's an Oscar.
Yeah,
Dude, all I'm saying is, watch Requiem for a Dream. Watch, even Blade Runner 2049, where she barely has a role. Watch Dallas Buyers Club. This guy, he's just like any actor or actress. You're in good movies, you're in bad movies. Just because you're in a bad movie doesn't inherently make you a bad actor.
And honestly, like I said, his Joker wasn't even that bad. I think it was just the presentation. He actually was kind of threatening in some scenes. He was a little bit over the top, I could tell, but he was also trying to fill, everybody said, fill in the boots of Heath Ledger and stuff. So you can try. He was probably trying a little too hard in some parts, but I thought he did a good job with the presentation. Especially, like I said, the end with the SWAT team outfit. That was a very Joker line, "Come on, baby, let's head back home," something like that, and they kissed, and it's the whole Mr. J thing.
Yep.
I really think that he was criminally underrated, and I think he even did an okay Joker. He's not by any means my favorite Joker, but I think he's did an okay job.
Yeah,
he did what any good actor should do with any role, and that's not just to inhabit the role yourself, but to also make the role your own. He played the Joker in his own way while still maintaining the feel of the Joker. Did he do it as great as Heath Ledger? No, not at all. But he portrayed it in his own way to the best of his abilities. I don't think he should be judged for that.
And they're two completely Joker and the Dark Knights. Christopher Nolan was all about the dark and gritty, street level stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Joker was a gangster. He wasn't the psychotic clown prince of crime. He was a guy who was an anarchist who's out to show people about how corrupt people are, or the government this. The Joker in Suicide Squad was much more campy I'm not saying he was anything like Mark Hamill's Joker by any means, but he was much more comic booky than Heath Ledger's was. And I think a lot of people got that ever since Heath Ledger, who did a phenomenal job. I think people have always kind of unfairly looked to every actor to being the next Heath Ledger, when I don't think that's even possible, because again, his role is his role. No one can really do that. It's his own masterpiece he created.
Exactly.
Right, and like what Max said.
On top of that, it's just it wasn't a comic book film. It was, but it wasn't. It was much more of a realistic interpretation of a character. You can't really do that with a comic book movie. It comes down to
the Dark Knight trilogy was meant to be deeper than Suicide Squad was ever meant to be.
Right. So, we knew from the start that the Dark Knight was not just going to be its own thing. It was not a one-off. It was going to be this series that focused on something different.
Mm.
You couldn't get that from Suicide Squad, mostly because, a lot leading up to it didn't seem like it was going to stick.
Mm-hmm.
And also, back to what Max said, it's each actor has a niche. For example, best example I can think of is Nicolas Cage. He is perfect in so many different roles. Like in
Yeah,
Into
that
the
bear suit.
Spider-Verse.
Have you seen him in? Have you seen Mandy by any chance?
Actually,
It's
Okay.
a horror movie.
Question.
Nicolas
Okay,
Cage
yeah,
stars in.
that was the hard movie.
Yeah, it's a horror movie Nicolas Cage stars in, and it's an H.P. Lovecraft. It's based on an H.P. Lovecraft novel.
oh god,
Wait,
Dude.
wait, is it actually?
Yeah, and
Oh,
my
I did
God,
not know that.
my God, Nicolas Cage is he's a great actor, man. But everyone thinks he's bad because of the
Yeah,
movies
he's
he's
the real
in.
life Joker.
You know,
He's like the real life psychopath.
and no,
That's nuts.
you can say that about anybody, dude. Adam Sandler. After watching Uncut Gems, I can't say he's not a good actor anymore, dude, because he is. He is. So
You could
Well, he's
put a-
also typecasted in a lot of films. Also, I don't think it's entirely Adam Sandler's fault. They just always
Yeah,
cast him as like
it's
that
it's the same
middle-aged loser.
situation that Jim Carrey's in.
yeah.
Right, you could put
Yeah.
you could put any actor or any like actor people think is a bad actor in a part that they were meant to be in, and they're an amazing actor.
Mhm.
It's just like that. Everyone has a part.
Yeah, even though like in the common workplace, like discrimination is not supposed to be something you hire somebody for. When it comes to acting and productions and things like that, you have to discriminate based on looks and things like that for what this character is and who this character is supposed to be. So you not only have to find somebody that looks like the role, you have to find somebody who can accurately portray that role as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Just because an actor's bad at one movie, in your opinion, does not make them a bad actor.
Yeah.
That's just very
yeah.
like you have to like do a lot of research. Like there's plenty of actors that I'm not a big fan of. So I've seen multiple things they've done. I think they're completely either overrated or just they're not that great.
Mhm.
And
Here's a
Jared Leto,
super-
the only movie he even did not great on was Suicide Squad. Even then, it wasn't that bad. So
Yeah.
it's,
But here's a super controversial example: Tobey Maguire.
Great actor.
oh god.
Okay, hold on.
I'm joking. It's not great by any means.
I was sitting there, I'm like, Jalen, like, you better watch it.
Okay,
Try some thin ice.
If you give him some context, he's great to us because pretty much everybody in here grew up with those 3 movies.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, those 2 movies, however you want to look at it. But when you put it like he was that for the longest time, and we thought, this guy is Spider-Man. But even if the films don't hold up, we saw him as this. We saw him as Peter Parker. We saw him as that guy. And then you also see him in movies like, gotta remember this because I hated the book, Great Gatsby.
Mhm.
He wasn't the star, but he also held his own. He was something other than what we saw him as.
Mhm.
So he worked out just fine.
Yeah, it's similar to Johnny Depp's early career. Like when you think of Johnny Depp, you think Alice in Wonderland as the Mad Hatter, Captain Jack Sparrow.
Oh,
and
I immediately go to
Pirates of the
Jack
Caribbean.
Sparrow. I
thought
kind of
Jack.
forgave even Mad Hatter. Yeah, I never think Mad Hatter. Those movies kind of sucked. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Personally, I wasn't a big fan of
I'm
them.
I'm the type of guy I think a Lone Ranger first.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What
Bro,
many people
he's
don't
a
know
Native
is that
American.
Johnny Depp actually had a major role in the original 21 Jump Street TV show.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, he was the main.
Yep.
He was the main
Oh,
Joker.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Except
He's
nowadays, Johnny Depp probably won't get cast for any type of production like that purely because of the public's view of him.
Oh,
As
yeah.
this wacky nonsense type character,
But the crazy thing about him is you had to search to look if that was him acting. You know how many
Yeah.
times I had to think, okay, is this him or not? Jack Sparrow, you could tell that's Johnny. But if you're looking at a role like Lone Ranger, you had to think, okay, is that him? Because he blends
Edward
in so well.
Scissorhands.
I think
Oh, God.
That was Johnny Depp.
I can't
You
hear
know?
that title anymore. Jalen scarred me. That's all I'm gonna say.
We're
I
gonna
always think something else is coming out of that mouth of yours, but nope. Okay.
we're gonna keep this
Can't say it
PG.
here. I'll get demonetized. So.
What all I'm going to say is if Johnny Depp was in a musical version of Edward Scissorhands, it would be amazing.
He was in a musical verse,
yeah.
not of Edward Scissorhands, but of
From,
Sweeney Todd and the
Tron.
Demon Barber on Fleet Street.
Yeah,
really?
That's my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, same.
This is a
My favorite
very.
musical of all time.
You know who's a villain like I always see Johnny Depp playing in Batman? I've always thought
Who?
he's the Riddler. I think he did a great Riddler. The way he
I
acts.
think he
Ooh.
probably could pull the role off.
He's a very
He
method
can go
actor.
From, like,
yeah.
you can go from serious to like psychotic, like freaking all over the place,
Yeah.
like nothing.
That's
So
what
that'd be like
yeah.
great for that.
That's what cocaine does to you.
Yeah, and wine, $13,000 a month in expense. I know way too much about Johnny Depp.
I can also
Trust me, we all do.
Dude, I know his address, his PO box, where he sleeps.
He bought an entire
how many
island.
fingers he has.
His financial advisor was like, "No, don't do that. You'll go bankrupt." And he was like, "I'm getting away from the paparazzi," and bought an island.
He's on that plane to spare. He is not going broke with as many roles he's been in. He
Dude,
popped up everywhere.
Dude, I gotta say this right now. If he isn't called back to Pirates of the Caribbean, again, now we're getting off topic, but if he's not called back to Pirates of the Caribbean, I'll be pissed, because honestly, that's the role that really he's known for, and that's not fair to him for everything. If he doesn't get that role back, that is
you can't have him without it.
You can't have Pirates of the Caribbean without Captain Jack Sparrow.
Like, also, if you look at Johnny Depp's
great.
career, he was also in the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but was he just like a guy who got killed off though? He wasn't like
he was a teenager. He was a teenager. He was like a teenager.
Was he the guy who gets stuck in the bed like the guy's where blood comes out?
But like that's the most memorable kill from that movie though.
And real quickly, while we're still on the topic of horror movies, we need to start moving on here. Tron 3 is gonna be great. That's that. While we're on the topic of horror movies, Halloween Kills released is technically second teaser. We got the first teaser a little while ago. We got a second teaser a few days ago.
Yeah, but this was new footage though. Beforehand, it wasn't new footage.
Yeah, this was
just like reused stuff.
Yeah, this was brand new footage, and so we now know a little bit. I guess when it takes place, which I mean, it kind of was common sense. But with this with this new teaser, we found out that the movie, instead of coming out October of this year, it now comes out October of next year. And it hurts. It really does, because...
Oh, it does.
It really does. Because I love... first off, I love Halloween. Even the bad movies are good in my opinion. It's a franchise I grew up with.
It's a movie you have to watch every Halloween.
Yeah.
It's definitely that you have to watch.
So...
I was already pained by something that got pushed back. This just made it worse for me because I love horror movies. When I tell you, the trailer for the remake of Candyman with Jordan Peele as a producer. When I tell you how excited I was that it was coming out, I was so hyped because I loved that movie. It scared the crap out of me as a kid, but I was so happy to see it. When I tell you that I saw Jordan Peele's name attached to it, I could not handle the excitement. And then this happened and I learned, pushback.
The thing I feel bad for though about that is everybody's like saying it's a Jordan Peele movie and it's not, and actually getting completely overlooked, and I feel really bad for him.
But he's that kind of name. But he's that kind of name that you have to have attached at this point.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I'm sure, but like, I just feel bad for people who are out there like, it's this Jordan Peele's like doing this movie. It's like, well, it's not like he's producing it. He's not like doing the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, Halloween, man. I love all the movies, and I love the 2018 film, with David Gordon Green directing it, and John Carpenter had a huge role in it. He was a producer. I believe he did the soundtrack for this one as well.
Yes, he did.
And
what's his name? Danny. What's his name? He was in Covenant.
Danny McBride.
Yeah. He was involved in it. I forgot for what capacity, but he was.
So I love this 2018 movie. It wasn't perfect. I mean, we clearly had those dumb plot points like the Doctor and whatnot. But for the most,
that was so stupid.
for the most part, it was a great movie, and I was super excited for Halloween Kills. Supposedly, it was going to have the most murders out of any Halloween movie ever made. Supposedly, it was going to be like the darkest and stuff like that.
They said they're redoing the term slasher movie in their words. They said they're trying to change that term to make it more like there's going to be a lot of blood and a lot of kills.
And supposedly, the whole Haddonfield as a whole was gonna go after Michael in this movie and stuff like that. I was really excited for it, and this one would have came out this October. Halloween Ends would have came out next October, but obviously that's going to get pushed back to 2022 now. Under circumstances I think we all understand, but I just hope with this time that they've been given, I hope they don't change too much. I feel like giving them a year to release a movie could do a lot of good as well as a lot of bad for a film. Early test screenings of the film so far, people have praised it. People are like, this is the definitive Halloween movie, And whenever I think of a lot of murders and bloody kills and stuff, I think the scenes from 2018 Halloween, whenever he's sneaking up behind that woman, stabs her right through the neck, and you see, she's looking out the window and stuff like that. Bathroom.
Thinking of his arts and crafts project with the cops.
My favorite kill
That was
out of the
fantastic.
whole entire movie.
Don't know we had the effing time for that, but sure. Took his time making jack-o'-lanterns, so they're like doing that in the background.
Halloween night has a couple extra hours.
I love
There's
those
a scene where it's like Lori and her granddaughter, and you can just look in the background, and like the background, just be like, "Carry on, don't worry about me. I still have another couple minutes from I'm available. Just keep going."
No.
Control the
You
plot
just see
forward. I
him in
got
the
this.
background come in and just grab a bottle of glue and then walk back out.
I'm borrowing this real quick. Right back.
You know, the funniest thing about these movies is that you all. Okay, my first thought whenever I watch these movies, even though I enjoy them, I think, how are they not gone yet? Because they all have an excuse. Like, you could probably excuse any slasher villain for being unkillable. Jason's basically a demon. So was Freddy. Michael's just a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I love these movies, I'm thinking, how is he not dead yet?
Well, even in like the credits, man. Even it's like, you know, he's not even referenced as a person. Like, he's even like in the credits and
the shape.
Yeah, the shape. He's this entity, you know. So once again, it bows that supernatural aspect to it, which, you know.
I think he's supposed to personify evil. That's what his finger stands for. So he's just pure evil. There's nothing.
Here's
Okay.
the thing that everyone forgets, though, when it comes down to Halloween in the first one, is the fact that, like, if I don't hold me against this because it's been a while since I've seen both movies.
I'm gonna hold you against it.
Okay. It's basically, didn't they say in the original one that after he escaped the first time that he stole some dead cop's body armor?
No, yeah, he was wearing Kevlar. That's why.
Yeah.
No. The new canon, because Halloween 2 isn't canon anymore. In the new canon, the reason why he's alive because he had body armor on underneath his stuff. He stole the Kevlar, and so he got shot by Lori. Then that's why he wasn't dead. In the new canon.
He also got shot in the face too.
Well, yeah.
Well,
okay,
she was shot in the eye, didn't she? No,
Yeah,
she stabbed him in the eye
yeah.
with a coat hanger.
Yeah.
She stabbed him with a coat hanger. He wasn't shot in the face. I don't think. I think he was stabbed in the face.
Well,
with
here
a coat
comes the
hanger.
thing with all that is what I want to see in Halloween. By the way, I haven't even seen any of the new stuff that's come out about it. But what I want to see in the next movie is that he survived the fire in a actual smart way, because at the end, any spoilers, but at the end when you see him and the fire's all around, when it comes back to the basement, he's already gone.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing I want to see is that the mask is melted to his face.
Well, have you seen the teaser trailer for it?
No, I haven't.
Well, what I think they're doing with it is the whole point why he escapes is they're going down the highway, and then the fire truck starts screaming past them. They're like yelling. She's like, no, let him burn. I think what's going to happen is they're going to show up with the fire out, and he's going to escape that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going to happen. I think that's how they're going to be like, oh yeah,
that mask idea is sick. I hope I see that now.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
But here goes something I'm afraid of, is what's going to be the... I hope it's smart, but in this case, when it comes down to horror movies and some of it's, dumb logic, I wonder how Laurie's going to be brought back in, if they're going to be hunting him down, or just Michael's just going to know where she's at this point.
You know, now that you bring this up, Matt, when you were talking about the whole going down the street and the fire trucks and stuff, typically Halloween movies obviously take place on either October 30th or October 31st. You know, that's just all of them. I feel like this movie won't take place a year later. I feel like this is going to take place, literally
the next night.
Yeah,
November.
November.
I was going to say it's beforehand. I was letting everybody talk, so I was going to go on for this for a second. I wonder what they're doing is they're kind of rebooting the series in a way, because Halloween 2 took place right after Halloween 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if they're trying to make a trilogy that all takes place in that night somehow. I mean, that might be ridiculous, but this will be the new Halloween 2. They'll pick up right after the events of this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, because where they failed in the first original was obviously it was supposed to be. People who don't know this, Halloween wasn't supposed to be about Michael Myers. It was an anthology series, but people loved him so much they brought him back for a part 2.
That's why Season of the Witch is not even about Michael at all.
Well, yeah, but he wasn't going to be in the sequel. They brought him back for the
yeah.
sequel because everybody liked him. That's why, because he was supposed to just vanish into the night, and that was going to be the end of Michael Myers.
Mm-hmm.
But they liked him so much, they brought him in, then they killed him off. So it's like, I wonder if they're trying to correct their mistakes. Be like, okay, well, if you want to make more movies, let's not kill him off in the second one. So they're probably just trying to kind of do a reboot of the sequel in a way, but do it their own way, which I'm fine with. That sounds great.
You just set up a perfect transition for me when we get to the next thing, but I'm going to wait. I just did the perfect one now.
Go for it, man.
It was about okay. So he said Michael Myers is super likable, and Mortal Kombat always has a DLC where they have at least one known killer.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me he would not be an amazing DLC
Oh,
character.
he'd be great.
There's so much you could do with that.
Different masks, different jumpsuits, different knives.
I was gonna say it's perfect.
Especially like the dumb mask that he had for what, part 4? Like the ultra plastic, like
the non-threatening mask. He looks like an idiot. He's walking around wearing it.
He's wearing like a neck brace the whole entire time.
Well, dude, I know there's a mask in one scene. What movie was it? Where like he had a really serious mask, and notice they've done a reshoot because you can tell the mask was like really bad. One scene it looked so stupid, and I forgot which one. I think it was H2O. Was it? No. What was one at the college? Is that H2O?
That's H2O.
No. H2O? Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta think though, every killer has that when they go through this phase of they look stupid for one movie.
Oh yeah, like we get on Jason in like part what, 5? Oh, Jason X.
There was some crazy stuff about Jason being in space. I love that movie.
Really quickly, now that we're really talking about this, what if they tie in Halloween with the Invisible Man?
Oh, dang.
Okay, what?
The thing is, though, isn't that supposed to be a monster universe? Not like Michael Myers is a part of that. It's supposed to be like the Wolfman and Mummy and all that stuff.
They tried that and it didn't work.
I'm just saying, man. Realistically, though, they could.
Well, Blumhouse, yeah. I mean, Blumhouse should have their own cinematic universe, man. Got The Purge, got Halloween.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Purge would have been.
Got.
I think coming out.
What's Truth or Dare? They got Truth or Dare.
Stop making me.
Movie.
Happy Death Day.
Stop making me think this much.
I actually heard Happy Death Day was pretty good. I've heard those are actually pretty fun movies to watch. Not good, but they're because they're comedies, not serious.
Yeah, I think they like borrowed off the same energy as like Scream did when it first came out.
Oh yeah, it's totally self-aware.
Wants to make another Purge movie just during quarantine.
Well, no, they are doing another one. Doing one more. This is supposed to be the finale, but they said that since like Election Day, so I have no idea.
They've also said that about the Friday the 13th series.
Yeah, it's called The Forever Purge. Woohoo!
Wait, what's that concept this time? Because it's just the same thing every time. This last one was a prequel.
Idea.
Kill people.
What are you gonna do?
Idea. I don't know.
At this point, you might as well make everyday crime legal.
Blumhouse is like the Disney of horror. They have a monopoly over it at this point.
And I love it.
The thing though with that idea of it is that some of them are like home runs, and the rest of them are just we tried.
Purge election year was okay. Okay, it's a trilogy, right? It goes from good to okay. They don't necessarily get bad because they're entertaining.
Yeah.
Well, we just watched all 4 the other day for July 4th as a joke. Me, Jalen, and Jake, and it was a blast. We were like joking around. They weren't even that bad. They're not bad movies. They're just very they're just very over the top. Like,
yeah.
You need to,
okay, so there is 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is. Oh yeah. The 4th one's the first Purge, which is the prequel. That's the 4th one.
Which chronologically doesn't make any sense, but that's a video for another time. I was fine. Real quick before we move on, I was fine with the Purge continuity until I saw the first Purge, and then they've screwed up the whole entire timeline, just like the MCU and Spider-Man: Homecoming. I was pissed.
Go figure. Marisa Tomei was involved in both of them. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh come on! Why you gotta put Homecoming on this? I love that movie. I know it messed some stuff up, but you kind of just have to go with it because at this point in the MCU, we don't know what the rules are.
It's getting down to the point where Jalen might be wrong about Homecoming at this point because there's a lot of people that like it in here at the moment.
I love Homecoming.
I love it.
I enjoy Homecoming.
It's the second best Spider-Man movie behind Spider-Man 2, and that's my opinion.
I enjoy Homecoming. It's Far From Home. That's a bad one. That's a terrible one.
Far From Home isn't that bad. It's not bad. It's just very
Far From Home is the one that should have been made.
Bro, that movie's not that bad. You're saying it's the worst MCU film. Get out of here.
Y'all are all gonna hate me for this. I haven't seen Far From Home yet.
You're not missing out on much.
I haven't seen
Mysterio was fantastic.
Mysterio is awesome.
It was such a mixed bag. Everybody I asked, even if I didn't get spoilers, it was like it was okay. That was all I got.
Yeah, Jalen makes like it's like the Antichrist of like the MCU the way he talks. Dude, I can already list 3 movies that are worse: Thor: The Dark World, Iron Man 3, and The Incredible Hulk.
Far From Home is worse than all 3 of them combined.
Why do you hate on Iron Man 3? Okay, maybe because
Iron Man 3 sucks. I'm sorry. Okay. This is a debate for some other time.
Yeah. We'll do this later.
was gonna say I want answers.
So for some gaming news, real quick. Earlier this week,
boy.
Max is ready for this. You PC elitist. Earlier this week, we got the PlayStation 5. Not for Max. The PlayStation 5. We got the PlayStation 5 boxes. What the physical copies of the games will look like. For the most part, I like it. I like the black on white. The only off-putting part about it was the blue case. I would fix that by either making the case white or black.
I'd say a black on white look would look really.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Or just change the lettering to blue and go with the white and blue.
So I saw that as well. I did see a few mock-ups of that. I don't know. I feel like, kind of like what they did with the PS3, like how their whole scheme was gray and PS2 their whole scheme was black. I feel like, just change the scheme as a whole. Don't bring blue back into this. Do another.
Do white.
Yeah, white.
I'm incredibly biased because blue's my favorite color.
Another one in here.
Oh, come on. Blue is everywhere. Blue is life. The sky is blue. The ocean is blue. That's the end of my list.
I like blue for different reasons. I'll tell you after the podcast.
What?
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute.
Okay.
No.
My man's watched a couple too many hours of Avatar over here, apparently.
Let's see.
The extended cut.
How are you going to flag us with a color?
I don't think.
Max, the chat's asking questions right now.
I was going to say.
I don't know if I could say it on stream. We'll leave it at that.
Okay. We'll have this conversation afterwards. So for the most part, I do like the design aspect of the cases. It's not really huge news, but I thought we'd touch on it real quick before we get into this Ubisoft news. So on Sunday, as we probably know, as some of us know, Ubisoft is doing their press conference. They're going to be announcing some new games for PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. And today we actually got a little bit of a tease towards their next Far Cry game, Far Cry 6. And I'm not a huge, I've only played 3, really. That's really the only one I've, put a lot of time into. So I'm not like really educated on the franchise as a whole. But I know Matt and Trey here are. So you guys want to tell a little bit more about Far Cry 6?
Do you want to go first or me?
I mean, I don't know. I was gonna let you go first, but you were saying the guys.
I'm a fan too, so I'll help you guys out.
I guess I'll go first.
Alright.
I mean, from the teaser they showed, it looks cool. I'm glad we're going back to a third world country. Like we're going to Yarrow, which is like a it's supposed to be like a mock-up of Cuba, because of course, I don't know what is up with Ubisoft recently, but they can't actually have real named locations in their stuff for some reason.
Oh, they've never done that.
PC movement. Well, no, they have in Watch Dogs. I mean, you have Chicago and stuff. I mean, I guess you had Montana, so I guess that counts. But
well, they do it just with the Far Cry games, though. Like in it was the Rook Islands.
The Rook Islands, which was basically the Caribbean. The Rook Islands. No, Rook Islands. What the heck are they mock up as? So they're
They named it after. Well, they modeled it after the islands in Papua New Guinea, but they called it the Rook Islands as satire.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then freaking what's it called? The place in 4.
Karat, which was Nepal.
Karat, yeah, Nepal. Okay, so yeah, never mind. I take it back.
Good.
But yeah, no, Yarrow's supposed to be Cuba. What's that supposed to be? You know what? I won't talk. How about that? No. No, but so it's modeled after Cuba. So what I saw from the teaser, what I'm getting at, which I hope this is where they're going with it. I think it's okay. I'm probably gonna butcher his name. Is it Juan Carlo Esposito? Is that his name? The actor?
No, that was close.
Hey,
okay.
Just call him Gus from Breaking Bad.
Gus Fringe or whatever from Breaking Bad.
And also that one guy that showed up at the end of The Mandalorian.
Moff Gideon.
Yes.
I think it looks like he's gonna be a dictator or whatever, and somehow, because I know Cuba has a lot of history of dictatorships and stuff, and his name's Castillo in the game, which is obviously very much like Castro if you kind of hear it out and stuff.
Oh yeah.
There's already a theory going around though, which I'm totally cool with. This would be awesome. The boy he has his hands on in the picture, if you look closely, it's a scar over his right eyebrow, and people have also compared it. Voss has a scar in the exact same place, and they both have dark hair and dark eyes. So people are suspecting this could be a prequel to Far Cry 3. This is going to explain how Voss became the way he was, basically, because he was taken as a kid by drug people. And Trey said, or my friend said, a lot of people always suspect it was Hoyt, who he worked with. But then I look back at it, though, it won't make much sense because they're close to the same age. Hoyt's probably like 10 years older than Voss, so he wouldn't be 10 when he kidnapped him. So, I mean, if this is the case, it would explain a lot. Like, maybe he worked for this guy, and this guy mentored him or something. I don't know. To me, it would be interesting to see a prequel to like one of the best video game villains ever made.
Yeah.
But, I'm sure Michael Mando will be totally down to return because he loved Voss so much.
I love Michael Mando. That guy's voice just makes me
he's
happy.
perfect for Scorpion, bro. He's good at portraying homicidal maniacs.
I forgot about that. Oh my god. I thought we'd never see that again.
But yeah, so no, I'm totally down with I mean, it looks cool. I mean, we don't know. We only saw a little teaser from like a cigarette, and that was it. So I have no idea what it's going to be about. But I mean, it looks like a dictator thing again. So
I do hope they do a certain angle with the Far Cry games because, and I love them, but I gotta say, after 3, it's just kind of formulaic.
Definitely.
For real. Like, you could literally count on one hand. Okay, not counting 3. Here's the plot is on one hand. Guns, charismatic villain, either third world country or little-known place, and guy who's thrown into a situation. That's it.
Yeah.
For me, what I want them to see for Far Cry 6 again, which we lost, I think, with 5 and a little bit of 4, I want more of like that survival thriller aspect. I want Ubisoft to focus more on grounded stuff again, like they used to. Lately, they've been going to the extreme, like with New Dawn, like you have like unicorn carts and stuff. Go back to the more of the gritty stuff, like 3 had. 3 was goofy at times with the drug sequences, but go more gritty and stuff. Like I told my friend Trey here, a great mock-up for me for 6 I would love to see is they can even play into this whole thing, like U.S. with Cuba and stuff, how like, we went in to assassinate their dictators and stuff. Have like it where you're a soldier as a set character. You're either a dude or a female, either one works. You're a set character, none of that creating character crap, no more of the no lines crap. I want to flesh that character.
I agree.
Yeah, like Ajay and what's his name?
You gotta ask.
Oh my god. No, not Brody. I don't know. Anyways,
Brody. Wait, no.
Jason. That's it.
Oh yeah, he was from 3.
Jason and Ajay. So I would like to see like maybe like a story like soldiers go in to take him out, and you go in there with your team, they all get wiped out. Either somehow like everybody's dead, you're behind enemy lines by yourself on this island. I would even like to see maybe get captured and play into like more of the psychological aspect of torture. Maybe like you're stuck there for months, and then you get like broken out, and then you have like this one man like Rambo army against this like entire like regime. I want to see more of that. I'm tired of the Resistance story. Ubisoft rides the Resistance crap way too much. I don't know what's up with them and Resistance stuff, but Ghost Recon Wildlands Resistance, Breakpoint Resistance. What?
I just got reminded of something. When that, as you were saying, what you wanted with the whole entire soldier and everything and everything, is that kind of reminiscent of Far Cry 5?
Yes.
No, I mean kind of, but you're a deputy sheriff, and that was more like I want a fleshed out story. I want them to go though with Far Cry. I want a story that's told with an actual purpose. Far Cry, I love goofy stuff. Goofy stuff is fine, but I really want them to go. Ubisoft to go more serious again with their storytelling. A lot, like have more fleshed out characters. I want to see like the PTSD, post-traumatic stress on characters in these circumstances, things that can happen to them. Like no one, like you're not a superhuman. You're a human being still behind the gun. You're not going to be like, like in New Dawn, you got superpowers for crying out loud. Like really, like you go back to like more of this, like the stranded, not stranded, yeah, like the stranded survivor story.
So you just want it to be more grounded in reality.
Yeah, more like a survivor story, like not a horror game by any means, but like a thriller, like don't count your bullets, keep the explosions, all that crazy stuff. Like make it see actually, you have like a ton of guns, but like make it where you don't feel like you're invincible.
Also, like in 5, they had an amazing story idea. You had this cult in this remote area in like Northern America that you had to go in and defeat. The cult by itself was an amazing plot idea, but like Matt said, the resistance idea has been done like crazy. If they had done something else with it, like say you were a part of that cult and you had to decide whether or not you wanted to either join and be peaceful or you wanted to do something to overthrow it. If you get choices like that, not just a center plot where this is the evil, you have to beat it.
Yeah,
dude, I'm so tired of the Ubisoft formula. Ubisoft is great. For the early part of this generation, they did a great job with their games, But then after I got to the tipping point for me, when I started seeing their stuff start coming back around again, was after AC Origins. They're like, okay, Origins got a lot of good reviews. RPG mechanics, bullet sponges, or like character sponges. Let's put all that stuff into our other games and no one will notice it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously now people notice it. That's why they pushed back Legion, because Breakpoint's a massive disaster when that came out. One thing I know I'm really worried about with 6 is in New Dawn they had bullet sponges with numbers pinging off their bodies like an RPG system. I don't want that. Far Cry is like Rainbow Simulator. I don't need no numbers on the screen. I don't need no frigging RPG mechanics. Just a skill tree, and I am fine.
Yep.
Just give me fun stuff to blow up and go to explore, and I'll be good. That's just how I want Far Cry.
I also don't want to see that villain hierarchy they have in almost every Far Cry game. Like, have villains involved in the plot, but don't make them easily beatable. Make them
don't target their lieutenants and work your way up the tree.
Right,
We've had that
like,
since Wildlands.
Don't have that. Like, have them be a part of the plot, but don't be like, okay, this is the guy that's a part of the echelon, we have to beat him. No, like, have this guy be maybe somebody you didn't know about, somebody who you thought was your friend, and have them betray you. Something.
Yeah, I don't want to target like, oh, go after the gun smuggler, and then go after the drug smuggler, and then once you defeat those two guys, go for the head of the smuggling department. Like, no.
Right.
Look, for some games, like Assassin's Creed, actually, I prefer that. I think it makes more sense because you're an assassin. People can say what they want. I actually like the more like the tree thing. That seems cool, but like, Far Cry has always been about over-the-top action, just like over-the-top villains, which I want them to keep that. That's kind of their gimmick.
Yeah.
Over-the-top, like, crazy villains, I want them to always keep that. That's the whole point of Far Cry. I just want it to, like, feel like you're alone. Like, you feel like everything's against you. I want the odds stacked against you in this one, like it used to be.
And, like, the last good villains besides the boss was, personally, I like the Highwaymen more than I do Pagan.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
Something about me just doesn't like Pagan men. Like, it's probably all because he's the most sensible in.
Well, he didn't show up at all. Like, he never showed up for like half the game.
He wasn't a threat. He was just the guy pulling the strings of the people who were involved. So you never thought this guy's an issue. It's more like this guy's annoying.
Yeah.
And one thing.
Sorry.
No, that was my bad. I know I cut you. You can finish your comment, so I was cutting you off.
That's cool.
You can go.
It's like, even in the end, nothing really comes of him. You just kind of go off with him. That's about it.
Yeah.
And there was now I'm doing it.
Oh, no, go ahead.
And even in personally to me, this is the worst Far Cry game of the last generation. It's Primal.
Oh,
there was nothing. There was nothing there. You were just this guy, you were a caveman in this time doing whatever. There was no point to it.
Ooga booga, let me throw a spear at that man. That's pretty much the entire plot.
So yeah, like I said, I played the earlier ones, and I never played 4. Well, I played a little bit of 4, but I didn't get that far into it. Then I saw Primal, and I was like, what is this? Like, now if Ubisoft like made this game, right? Primal hasn't I didn't have an issue with Primal being a game. I had an issue with Primal being a Far Cry game. If Ubisoft was like, all right, here's our new, action game that takes place, in prehistoric times. Okay, that's not Far Cry though. That's not Far Cry at all. So I think that was like my biggest turnoff from the franchise as a whole. When I saw Primal, I did not care about anything that came out after that. I was like, dude, this is going to be a shit show.
Dude, the thing with Primal also, I was talking to Jake about. I'm like, out of all of their genres, like Assassin's Creed, I want to be historically accurate on, right? Why make it so you need to read subtitles in a Far Cry game? A game that's about blowing things up and killing things. You want to be thoughtful, like a foreign film. But then you have Assassin's Creed, which is supposed to be historically accurate, and they're all speaking American back in the Greek times. it's like, okay, I'm all down for that. Just change the genres.
When it comes down to the Primal, Jalen, I'm happy you didn't finish it.
I didn't even start it.
Sadly, I suffered through it because I was curious about what the ending was. Literally, you beat the first tribe, you beat the second tribe, cut straight to credits, free world after that. There's no end.
That's really it.
It was totally a DLC for 4. It was totally just a DLC.
It was cut DLC.
It could have been just good as DLC. Like, if you just... And also, okay, I do give it credit for one thing, even though it's very minor. The ending where you beat the boss and you kind of pair the two villages where you don't straight up kill him. He's holding a child of his own tribe in his hands, and before you kill him or you don't kill him, he hands you the baby and he's like, protect. That I liked.
Oh yeah, same.
I will give it that. No other villains had like a sympathetic ending. The rest you kind of wanted to see die in a very gruesome way.
And then you get left with the I forgot what they call it, but no, they're just basically the Sunwalkers. And then you get stuck with them.
That was funny. I'm sorry, the Sunwalkers. That kind of made me laugh because it's like the only difference between you and them is that they're painted blue and they throw fire at you. That's it.
Yeah, that's really just it.
And what's even funnier is that instead of guns, you get animals. Even though in every other Far Cry, you pretty much butcher any animal you come across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. It's like I had a giant. I played this game because I got bored with it, but I had the biggest bear. It's a cave bear in the game, and I had this by my side, and I sent it to kill several different animals. And they do this all the time in games. You get the best boss in the game. It's like, nice, I got this giant, powerful bear. It gets one-shotted by a boar. Do you know how upset I was? Like, there's a bear 10 times the size of me. You send it to kill something, and it gets one-shotted.
And then they do the exact same, and then 5, and then it's overpowered. Like, it makes no sense. That's my biggest problem with 5, is the idea that you're never alone, truly.
I'll say the one thing I think I would love, nothing else, for Far Cry 6, the one thing I'm asking for, this is going to be new consoles, new generation. I want them to embrace the tech, and I would love to see weather play a bigger form in the next Far Cry 6, because you're in Cuba, so there's a lot of hurricanes, tropical storms. I'd love to see weather play a major effect in combat. Like maybe a storm can blow trees over, hurricanes can flood certain areas of the map for certain times. Like, I want just developers in general start embracing next gen, not just like, okay, up the graphics and keep the same thing. I want new gameplay mechanics when it comes down to stuff. I'm tired of the same formulaic stuff. Keep the stupid checkpoints. I mean, that's the Far Cry staple. You have to keep the checkpoints. But, like, I want some new stuff added. I'm tired of just the same. We've had PS4, to me, has been a great console, but, like, there's just lacked originality a lot of the time with developers. And I want a lot more original mechanics in games coming out.
Spectre on the chat actually said, and ray tracing on the water, you need light reflections. I guess what the bottom line of what we're saying here is we want the technology at our hands to be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, even the graphics of like PS4 graphics for the first like year or two, and the technology's just more improved. Like I said, like hurricanes can maybe like flood parts of the map, or trees can fall over blocking your path, or heck, you can use a tree, you can blow up a tree and make it block a road so you can ambush a convoy. Or something like that. Just do something where it's more environmental. That kind of stuff.
Now I'm gonna have a problem if one of you literally sit here and say, "Yeah, we should bring back diseases like in Far Cry 2."
Okay.
I mean, I'd be fine with that as long as it's not close to what it was. Nerf from a lot, like it's very rare to get it, and make it easy so it's easily like curable. I mean, that would just be.
Oh, sorry, man.
No, I just want to feel more survivalist than it has the last few times. Far Cry 3 it felt survivalish. 4 not so much. 5 especially, you were just like a militia person in 5 at that point. There was like no even survival.
There's basically no risk. Like there's no risk, and also. I was going to say, if you're going to do a disease, like getting a disease, which I think is an awesome mechanic, you should do it in like a hardcore mode. Make it optional.
Exactly. You turn it off or on or something.
Yeah.
And also, Matt, another mechanic I thought of, you said there's a lot of tropical storms, right?
Well, Cuba, especially Cuba's right down in like that area. They get a lot of hurricanes and stuff.
What if it was, all right, let's say if there was a storm going on during one of the missions, if you tried to hit fire and the wind is super strong, it's much harder to hit something.
That'd be great. Or like you take a boat and like the waves can like knock your boat over or something. You can go in the water.
Oh, like that. Perfect.
Yeah, I want like sharks. I want sea creatures. I want threats. I want you to feel like where you are. Everything's against you, and you have to like do whatever you can to survive. I want that Far Cry back again. I mean, keep like I said the explosions and guns, but like make it so it feels a lot more like grounded and visceral, like 3 was.
Just because you said sea creatures, I now fully expect there to be a kraken somewhere.
I mean, like little like goofy Easter eggs would be funny, like maybe like a megalodon Easter, stuff like that. But like make sure it's like not like ridiculous, stuff like that. It's fine, but.
Well, if there's one thing good come out of this conversation is that we will figure out what Far Cry 6 is going to be about in less than 2 days. So,
all right.
And as we start wrapping things up here, we will be the channel posting everything that comes out of that conference. So stay subscribed, and we will keep you guys updated. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait, dude. Far Cry is a franchise that I don't want to say I'm a huge fan, but I did grow up with it. Far Cry 3 is one of my, I've told Matt and Trey this numerous times today. It's like easily my top 10 games, dude. Far Cry 3 is a masterpiece in my opinion. And, I think for me, at least, I have not fully played a Far Cry game from Far Cry 3. You know, I never went through Far Cry 4, Primo, 5, you know, all those. So I really do believe, for me at least, this might be the game to get me back in the franchise, and I feel like a lot of people as well, because Far Cry it seems like it's diverted so much off the course of what it used to be, and I feel like a lot of games have done that in recent memory. And I really do feel like, you know, the PS5 and Xbox Series X and this next generation of gaming as a whole is going to be more of a reminiscing period, and it's going to be more about going back to the way things used to be. And that sounds good with me.
Yes.
Yeah, like, I mean... we start talking about this.
We always do this. I was just going to say, like, a franchise can't become too much of a little bit of what made it special.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have hints of something, give it a gimmick, give it that thing people look forward to, but don't make that your entire series.
Mm-hmm.
My only fear with Far Cry 6 I have is the same thing with Breakpoint, which you can clearly tell they did now. I love having big budget actors in games. I think it's perfect for it. But, like, John Bernthal is great in Breakpoint, but, dude, they totally had him in the game just to sell copies. There was not even, like, anybody could have played Walker. John Bernthal didn't play Walker. Anybody could have played him. I don't want them just to be like, okay, cast the guy that played Gus in Moff Gideon because he's, everybody likes him. He's an up-and-coming, he's not up-and-coming, but he's going to be more popular now. Cast him as the dictator. And, like, I want them to be a purpose why they cast actors like them and embrace their traits and specialties. I don't want to just be like, okay, well, like John Bernthal, cast him because he's good at portraying military guys as Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Literally anybody could have been Walker. Goes to become Breakpoint. It's like there was no reason to cast him. He did a great job. He's a great actor, but I'm worried about Ubisoft just cashing in on the whole like AAA actor, if that's what you want to call them at this point, bandwagon, like just getting big budget actors to sell copies of their games.
See, that's what I mean. It could just be a token that's in the game. Like that could just be part of it, what you look forward to. Like, who are they going to get to play this part while the game is still good? But if it's all of that, then it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, I think we had a pretty good conversation tonight. There's once again a lot more to be had, and as far as Far Cry and everything else Ubisoft goes, we will be seeing, like I said, all this stuff unfold in less than 2 days. So Sunday, we will be posting videos as everything unfolds and stuff like that. And yeah, so I mean, you guys want to say good night? I want to say good night because Max has some explaining to do.
Well, real fast, I do want to add one thing with the entire Far Cry thing.
Go for it.
There's one thing I want them to bring back, and they only did it with 3. It's my most favorite thing they've done. I've seen is like the whole entire time you're going through 3, it makes a parallel to Alice in Wonderland the whole entire time.
Really?
Yes, that's why. That's why when you first start the game, it starts saying how Alice goes down the rabbit hole, never to know if she's going to find her way back out.
Oh,
dude!
Hey, I never even thought about that.
On that same token, or whatever, I love how Ubisoft pumped out Far Cry 3 and AC3 in the same year and used Down One Alice. They used the exact same analogy in both their games released that December.
Oh yeah,
they used the exact same thing.
See, that's one thing I want them to bring back. Is just use some metaphors and euphemisms back.
Holy crap! I just thought of a huge connect. Okay, hear me out. So you know how you said they both use the Alice in Wonderland storyline?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Voss had a speech about has he told you the definition of insanity. Think about that for a second. They were both doing that.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Oh my god.
Ubisoft, like whoever came up with that, so they're like, man, I'm so smart. Let me put it in both these games. They're just like, dang, look at me. I'm crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this conversation with you guys as always, and expect more. Hopefully, Miles, you stay on for more future podcasts and stuff like that, man. Really enjoyed having you.
Yeah, I'll definitely be back. I'll definitely be back.
I don't know if we're gonna be talking about Tron 3 every single week, but we might be talking about something that appeals to you.
I got other interests too, man.
But with that being said, I think that's going to conclude this week's episode of the PCT podcast. We highly appreciate all you guys for joining, and we'll see you guys next week as always.
Peace.
Later.
Peace, guys. And
bye.
All right, with the exception of Matt, he's been relieved of his duty.
I knew this day would come.
It had to be today, man. I'm sorry. As for Max, You, my sir.